you so much for staying tuned to Champions TV, where we empower people. This is Nature Talk, and I am your host, Grace Achieng. Today's topic of discussion is about food security, and our guest in studio is Joseph Mugo, who is actually an agronomist specialist. He is going to talk to us more about food security. And so stay tuned to Champions TV. You can also join our conversation by sending us a direct text message to the number displayed on the screen, or you can also join us through Facebook page at Champions TV Kenya, or on our Instagram page at Champions TV Kenya. So once again, thank you so much, Mr. Joseph Mugo, for honoring our invitation and coming to our studios. So just begin by explaining to us what food security is.
Yeah, so thank you, Grace, for having me. So food security has to do with ensuring adequate supply of food, that is in terms of sustainability and in terms of provision of nutritious food to the people. That has to do with all provision of food in all requirements, such as provision of specific foods to those that have different sicknesses that require specialized food supply, ensuring that those that are not able to go do farming, like those affected by HIV, those that has different disorders, has the food supplied to them an inadequate amount and that which is nutritious.
Okay. Yeah. And so what causes the food insecurity crisis to go up?
Yeah, so in the recent day, we have a number of factors that cause food insecurity. And such factors include shift of the skills, that is by the people. And that more so is encouraged by the youths today, where we have the youths that have the skills to carry out agriculture with the skills and incorporate the skills in ensuring that we have adequate food supply. But they opt to go to urban areas and or maybe involve in ventures that will provide them with fast money, so rather than going to farming. Some other things include deforestation. You know, we require to have the right climate, even for provision of adequate food. But then when you have deforestation and such activities that works against the environment, that environment which we require to be okay so that there is adequate food production. So people have engaged in such, and therefore we end up having little food. Sometimes policies too, where we may be killing the morale of our farmers by maybe importing food from outside. Yes, we shall have food supply for that period when foods have been imported, but then we kill the morale of our farmers who would ensure sustainability by year by year providing adequate food for us. So such are some of the reasons why food insecurity or food security can be at risk, or we can be at risk of not attaining it.
What about issues of infectious diseases?
Yeah, we have such diseases as HIV and AIDS, which affects our population today. And with such diseases, we have both the victims, or those with the disease, and members of the family affected, whose family member is affected by the disease. They become maybe unproductive because those affected by HIV cannot be able to go and practice agriculture. We also have those members of the family, or whose family member is affected by HIV or any other disease. They require money for the medication of these sick people and to take care of them. And therefore, they engage in other activities that will give them money to be able to, fast money to be able to take care of these people. So they ignore agriculture, which may require some time to give back the benefits. and therefore there's retail food production, or they engage in activities like deforestation, cutting of trees to acquire fast money, and other activities which work against food production. Because when we have trees cut down, we do away with the natural resources like the water which you require for irrigation. So such are the cases that also put food security at risk.
Okay. So are we not fighting a losing battle because of the current population increase? Because we are really increasing at a high rate, and yet we are talking of food security. Do you think we are not fighting a losing battle?
I would not really say increase of population is so much, especially at the current day. It's not too much. We are not at too much risk because of population increase, because it's still manageable. The big problem we have is when population is only concentrated in one area, and especially those people even who have the skills are only concentrated in one area. I'm very sure if you go to most reserves, that is in the rural areas, there are a lot of pieces of land which may sometimes are just left bare. Yet we have people who have the skills to carry out irrigation. We have a population that is educated to be able to carry out farming with the skills that they have. Yet they opt to be only in a certain area, especially urban areas, instead of them going back to where we have the land. So it's not a losing battle to have that population. It's only a losing battle to have those people fail to apply their skills in production. Again, I think with the current increase of technology, you don't really require just land for you to carry out agriculture. There are technologies like hydroponics, where you can just use a room and be able to put up the system where you can grow the crops in water. And that one does not require really the soil space. We have aeroponics, where you grow the crops suspended on air and you just supply the nutrients in mist form or in other forms. So really population increase is not so much of a reason to make us worry. The reason that should make us worry is when those people do not use their skills or the current technology in ensuring food security.
Wow, so population increase is not actually
not a reason for us to say that we are fighting a losing battle.
Yeah. The only issue is that we are concentrating ourselves much in the urban.
Yeah, that's the risk.
And actually in the developing countries we have issues of donors.
Yeah.
They come to aid, especially during the drought periods, and even when the prices of food is too high. So what is your opinion about the donors' aid? Yeah,
so we have, I can talk of them in terms of the pros and the cons of what they are doing. And one of the positive that we have is when we have such bodies that ensure that people are equipped with the skills and the knowledge of being able to carry out agriculture, even in areas where maybe the land is dry. I can give an example of a body called Caritas that works hand in hand with the Catholic Church. They ensure that the people even in the rural areas or in the dry areas are educated about growing those drought-resistant crops, or even those crops that can tolerate maybe certain conditions that do not encourage growing of crops. So they educate the people on how to do it, and so the people are able to provide food and grow food. So that's an example. There are many other bodies that are helping in that, creating awareness to the people and helping them. But we still have maybe some negative about such bodies. For example, those bodies that only donate food to the people. They just donate food for a certain period. In that way, you are not encouraging the people to carry out farming themselves. You are just increasing over reliance on them, on donors. So if they are to work well, they would help the people in that time when they are in need of the food, when they have not been able to provide or produce the food, but still equip the people with the skills that they have in their place that enables them to provide enough for themselves and be able to donate. Yeah, so that way it can be really helpful to our people.
Okay, and actually we have the issue of climate change. Is climate change affecting the food security currently?
I think when you asked about if you are losing, you are fighting a losing battle, that's an area I could say, if you are not careful, you could be fighting a losing battle on that end. When we are not careful about our tree cutting, when we are not careful about conserving our water bodies, when we are not careful about conserving our soils, in such areas, if we are not careful, we shall have climate change. If we are not careful about our the pollution that is happening in the urban areas, you know, when you have too much of our people shifting to the urban areas, there is increased urbanization. So we have the pollution. That pollution is spreading. You know, such waste that is collected in urban areas may be taken even in those remote areas because there's no space to dump it. And so they degrade the soils there using those toxic substances. And that way we degrade even the soil where we have space to grow the crops. And we also pollute the environment. We encourage global warming because of the gases emitted by the industries. So if we are not careful to ensure that our forests are conserved and our water bodies are conserved, we shall be fighting a losing battle on that end because we shall have environmental change or climate change, and that way we shall not have climate favorable for us to carry out farming and food production for food security.
Okay, so thank you so much for staying tuned to Champions TV. This is Nature Talk, and we will be right back after the break.